I'm wondering if this might be an interesting time for us to transition into another mega hit. This one was 11 times platinum. Billboard's Hot 100 #1, which is the Michael Jackson song "I Just Can't Stop Loving You," a duet that he did with Siedah Garrett.
Oh man,
do you remember much about working with Michael? I know you told me in the last interview that he would disguise himself, and you saw him in the bathroom, sort of taking off the costume.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about this song? I know I sent you the isolated guitar from the original recording, like listening back to that. Did it conjure any memories, thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, again, that was a tracking session too, which was the first time that I worked with him. So the first emotion, the first thought was just abject fear. Pick your poison, Michael Jackson or Quincy Jones, Bruce Swedien, the engineer. So I was old enough to know that I was in the deep waters. And if I'm not mistaken, Ndugu Chancellor was playing drums.
Yeah, Ndugu Chancellor, Paulino DaCosta percussion, Nathan East bass, David Page playing synths, and then of course Siedah Garrett doing the duet vocal. Even
when you say that, funny thing is, it's like, that's nerve-wracking to even to think about myself in that cluster of people. So any direction you want to go in there, but it was the same as any other session. Once you take that mystique and legendary status of all these people that were there. Was Robbie Buchanan not on that one also?
I didn't see him on that song. He might have been. It just had listed David Page as being on synth.
Yeah, credits can be a little sketchy from that time.
I always thought it'd be like a Greg Fillinganes played on a bunch of those Michael Jackson songs from that era.
Maybe you may be right. Maybe it was Greg. Either way, when you have that caliber of musician, the first thing you do is, you got to bring your A game. So you're listening to the music, and I don't know chronologically where this was.
This was 87, so this actually would have been before Soul Provider and probably recorded.
Okay, well then maybe the reverse is true. So whatever, you hear the song, and the object is not to stay out of the way, but it's to find small little, you can call them hooks, compositions that complement the song, that elevate the song. You find out what you can do with your instrument that is going to contribute to that. And if you want to talk about the art or of being a studio player, that is really what it's about. It's, you get hired, you have longevity because of a consistency of bringing those elements to a song, no matter how large or how small your role is. And those are important facts, because sometimes you're called on to be the front line of the song, to be the main player. In this kind of song, and the same thing with the Michael Bolton song, it's more of a keyboard song. Yeah. It's not guitar music, right? Per se. It's not about all these tone colors that you bring fast and flashy licks. It's about finding, I like to call them composition as opposed to hooks, but it's the same thing. You find those little earworms that you're not aware of, but without it wouldn't have the same bounce or same content. So on the Michael Jackson session, what I was listening for were little openings that I could insert some of these things. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of that thing where you volume chords and whammy them a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it was like, because the synth sounds were so dense back then, your sounds had to be
DX7s.
Oh, that stuff, but they would come in with racks of those things. Yeah. So part of my sound was also they would also take direct outputs with the same effects on them, so that they had it wasn't like a clean direct sound, but it was an affected direct sound. So it would put even that little extra sheen on top, and finding little small hooks that would complement that, and there you go. That's what it was. Now it sounds easy, and I don't think I remembered it as being hard, but it's harder than you think.
Absolutely.
When you look, and then when I look back, it's not technically hard. A third grader can play these bits now. This is not that hard, but on the spot, that's kind of the difference. And so, you have to take a little credit for this.
Sure, the pressure's on, and I mean, I think two of the MVP parts, if I could be so bold as to say, there's a part in the chorus where there's like this ascending arpeggio that's going to double with da, 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 da.
It was like this, and that's how I voiced it. I mean, as opposed to this, for some reason, I can't remember what I don't remember exactly how that came in, but the idea was that somewhere in there, whether it was a conversation with anybody there, was that sound of it's almost a keyboard part. Mm-hmm. And that, I think it was just a guitar. When I listened back to it, it doesn't sound like a keyboard doing it.
Yeah, and then you do kind of like these swell things, and then there's like a rest, and then right before they say, and I just can't stop loving you, and then you come in with the big swell, and it's perfectly timed, and just the idea that's where you'd put the emphasis, like that separates session musician extraordinaire from somebody who is not quite there yet. It's like just knowing that you're going to observe that rest, and right before it comes in, you're going to kind of just come in right on the back part of that beat, and then just bring in that swell, and then that's going to carry over into the next verse.
And I'll just add a little piece on that. Some of it's intuitive, right? You just we probably, how many takes we did that, I have no idea. I don't remember overdubbing on that, so we must have gotten that pretty close. I probably flubbed something and had to punch in something. Knowing me, I was trying stuff all the time, but that wasn't like something where it was a track and then I got to sit down for hours with it. It was on the floor, so there is a little that heightened kind of tension and that you have to get it right, and you play off. Also, like I would play off. You're constantly, what I've noticed, especially being on the other side of the glass now, I really like session players, it doesn't matter what instrument, who are constantly kind of fishing with their eyes, making sure that as if I'm the producer, right, that I'm on board with it. And I notice drummers will do this, guitar, but everybody, when they're playing, they're playing their parts and they're grooving, and then all of a sudden they'll kind of glance up just to kind of check out. They'll do it with the artist if the artist is there in the booth, if there are sight lines. And I'm sure that's what I was doing, kind of, because your job at that time is, it's not about you. That's the one thing. You have to be pretty selfless. You want to be that kind of person who is, they're hiring you for a purpose. So they want your input. So you have to be fearless enough to say, I'm going to try this. But whether they say it or you sense kind of a little bit of apathy, you have to be smart enough to know, maybe I need to try and go this way, zig or zag. So all that stuff was part and parcel of that session. And I can't say every take was the exact same, but some of those parts, and I can say this even without remembering it, you sense all of a sudden you've kind of landed that spot. So an important thing at that point is also to make sure that you remember that. It's not all about improvisation. Improvisation is really important, but I can't stress enough composition. Because once you find that little piece of the compositional pie, they're going to want to hear that again. So it's up to you to remember how to do that. So that's what happened on that song.
Yeah, and that's the best guys figure that out, and they create sort of little miniature hooks, inside of using the words of Tom Bukovac. You got to have more hooks than a slaughterhouse. That's what he
tackle box.
Tackle box.
Yeah. He said slaughterhouse.
Yeah, he said
like Tom. Yeah.
I think I had said tackle box. He had said slaughterhouse.
There's Tom. we and the funny thing is we all look to those people that were our forebears, and so, I mean, I know it sounds like I got this man crush on Luke, but he was a master and a great rock guitar player. But listen to his rhythm playing; it was always compositional, and so that was the bar that was set. Yeah. So when I walked
human nature, I mean, just think of that.
Yeah. There you go. Enough said. You want to play this song?
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it.
I hear your voice now. You are my the love ring. Heaven's in my heart, at your call I hear harps and angels sing. You know how I feel, this thing can't go wrong. I can't live my life without you. I just can't hold on. I feel we belong. My life ain't worth living if I can't be with you. I just can't stop loving you. I just can't stop loving you. And if I stop, then tell me just what will I do? 'Cause I just can't stop loving you. And night when the stars shine,
Right.
you are
Oh my gosh. That's such a great part.
What I love is that you actually know the parts.
Yeah, I know the part.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And again, it's pretty. I mean, there's really. I mean, you know, you could on that thing on the, or you could. I'm not sure which one of those. I mean, you could obviously use either of those. Probably was a game time decision. A lot of the stuff that I mean, ended up making a lot of records. I guess at that point, I don't know how many people were doing a lot of this. All that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was a keyboard age, so that kind of stuff fit in with all that. And I tried to make hay while I could on that.
And was that neck and middle or was that bridge and middle? A bridge and middle.
Yeah, tap the bridge and middle, tap the humbucker, the single coil. Yeah. I mean, it's, to be quite honest, a lot of that stuff, there was so much direct mixed in. It's hard for me to be 100% sure. This seems like it's what it was.
Yeah, it's a definitely. It sounds right, you know, from a listener standpoint.
Yeah.
So.